Donald Trump's first 100 days have been historical, all right, historically unpopular. Put up the headline from Drudge this morning. Historically unpopular, lowest 100-day score in 80 years, 39% approval. And what I have to say to that listener and viewer is we can do better. We need to get this approval number down into the teens. This is our country. This is our time. We are living in a historical moment with a criminal running the United States of America. And what does he say? What does the President of the United States, the most powerful man in the world, what does he say when he reads his approval ratings? Put up his post from Lie Social. Great pollster John McLaughlin, one of the most highly respected in the industry, has just stated that the failing New York Times poll and the ABC Washington Post poll about a person named Donald J. Trump, me, are fake polls from fake news organizations. The New York Times has only 37% Trump 2024 voters, and the ABC Washington Post poll has only 34% Trump voters. Unheard of numbers unless looking for a negative result, which they are. Okay, he goes on and on, that they're the enemy of the people, and he's going to continue to fight Trump derangement syndrome, the greatest hits of bullshit that he says all the time because he has no material. He sends this out 2:24 a.m. Imagine you're the most powerful man in the world, the President of the United States, and at 2 a.m., that's what you're doing. You're on your Truth Social, which we here at IHIP News call Lie Social, sending that, taking no personal accountability or responsibility that your policies are completely incompetent, damaging, and chaotic. All right, and then here he is on the tarmac proving that he doesn't understand math. Play this video.
Problems in the world. When I left 4.5 years ago, I left, and I'll tell you what, we didn't have any of these problems. The good news is costs are way down, groceries are down, eggs are down, gasoline is way down. It's all coming down. It's all looking good. The tariffs are strong. We're taking in a lot of money from tariffs. We were losing a lot before I got here. We were losing billions of dollars a day.
Okay. All of this is just, he's completely lying. Groceries are up, cost of eggs are up. And then him saying that everything was great when he left office. Everything was a disaster when he left office, and how quickly the amnesia set in for these triple Trumpers. How quickly, when they saw a competent, highly accomplished, highly qualified Black woman, how quickly their default setting to rush back to this criminal liar set back in, and they voted him back into office. And they're going to feel it the most. People in red states are going to feel these policies the most. Here he is on Truth Social with another jet stream of bullshit. He says when tariffs cut in, many people's income taxes will be substantially reduced, maybe even completely eliminated. He goes on, but here are the facts about this. Individual income taxes estimate for 2025 is $2.69 trillion. Current tariff estimate for 2025 is $63 billion. That's a difference of $2.627 trillion. So this is just basic math, you guys. Trump is now going to be flooding the zone saying, I'm eliminating income tax. And then his proposal is to tax consumers. So every time you go to Walmart, you go to Target, you're on Amazon, any of his best friends' businesses, you're going to get taxed there. But the math doesn't math. All these people do is get in front of the camera every day and promote their propaganda, and their goal is to destroy the American economy. And if it's not their goal, they have an interesting way of showing it, because the rest of the world is looking at what's happening here in awe. And basically, what's happening with Trumpism, you saw before this race that right-wing politicians around the world were getting popular. Everybody's seeing on the global stage this faceplant, and liberal leaders now are rising up, and you see the Liberal Party is going to sweep in Canada. You see liberal politicians in Europe and other places rising up because people have decided they like stability, they don't like racism, they like human rights. All right, next up. Trump has appointed a guy for NASA. This is just wild. Put this up. Trump's nominee for NASA administrator, Jared Isaacman, was arrested on fraud charges in 2010 and faced lawsuits in 2 states for writing $2 million in bad checks to casinos, according to government records and court filings. So, I mean, this is like something out of a movie. We're appointing the person to be the head of NASA that's a gambling addict. I mean, so think about just as Hillary Clinton said, the basket of deplorables. It's so true. Every incompetent, morally bankrupt, bottom feeder, flea bag that he can find races to work for him. But you might ask, why does he put all of these criminals in the administration? This is a textbook authoritarian play. They do this to say, we do corrupt things. They start okaying that it's okay for us to break the law and the rule of law doesn't matter. And he's doing that by positioning these people like Pete Hegseth and this NASA guy. And let's not forget, at the top of the food chain of criminals is Donald Trump, the most failed American businessman I think we have ever seen. And also, everybody who does business with him also becomes bankrupt. Look at the MyPillow guy and soon to be hopefully bankrupt Elon Musk. All right, so moving along, how is Trump able to keep some of a base, like this 39%? How is he able to keep them? And it's very simple. And if you live in the part of country that I live in, you understand that there is a portion of the American electorate that is very indoctrinated into far-right evangelical religious ideology. And this type of evangelical Christianity does not promote critical thinking. In fact, when a person critically thinks, they're told that's a sin. You can't question. You have to have blind faith. You have to have blind obedience. So all they have to do is pop out this Paula White, who is the White House faith advisor or whatever. And this happened at the White House in the United States of America. Put up this video. This is wild.
Holy, all creation cries.
Okay. So you get the vibe. She's there and they're doing this praise worship. Everybody's, hands are in the air. I'm sure they're doing some mild tongue talking. This is how they get away with it. They do all of this horrible, awful shit, but they say Trump loves Jesus. And then they all get in there and then nobody has to critically think, as long as they're giving it all to the Lord and praising it all to Jesus. And I know we have a lot of international viewers. This is a huge problem in the United States of America, and it's the prosperity gospel. These churches take Venmo. Their number one goal is to get a shit ton of money, and they have political agendas, and they have played a very long game. And these are the people who are both pro-Jesus and pro-Trump. And if you think about the dissonance involved in that, where the historical character Jesus from the Bible was against the consolidation of wealth, he was for helping the marginalized. MAGA Jesus, the one they worship, is all for the prosperity gospel and preachers having private planes and having hundreds of millions of dollars and helping people like Donald Trump and Elon Musk have all of this money. Meanwhile, people at the border are criminalized or are objectified and further marginalized. And let me just show you a prime example of the American Christian problem. All right, put this up. This is the Pope's bedroom that he lived in, Pope Francis. He had a simple twin bed, no fancy art anywhere, and this is where he lived the 12 years of his papacy. Now let's go to Joel Olstein. Joel Olstein, this is his house. This is one of the most popular megachurch preachers in the United States of America. He has tens of thousands, probably over 100,000 followers. This is the house that he lives in. Meanwhile, think about the dissonance again. Think about what Jesus in the Bible spoke about, and then think about that consolidation of wealth that you see there with Joel Olstein and what a grift it is. So how are these people that claim to be so Jesus-y, how do they love Trump? They have been indoctrinated from birth that the preacher gets to have all of this nice stuff. The preacher gets all of this stuff. Working class people have to tithe. Even if you're broke, you have to give to the church. So they're morally broken from the jump. And at the epicenter of this MAGA movement, the base, that 39%, I bet the majority of them believe in this style of prosperity gospel. And then you just have, the craven, psychopathic capitalists like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk that probably aren't religious at all, but they've just been broken by how much money they've made, and they don't care about human beings or leaving a good imprint on the earth. And I just call on everybody that this is an historical moment, and we have to start calling all of this stuff out. We need to get this nation back on track. We need people in the private sector, people in the public sector to come together to stop this immoral, corrupt administration, because the disparity in that photo that you saw, the Pope and Joel Olstein, that's their vision for America. They want all Americans to have these factory jobs, and then just a few people at the top, the oligarchs, are going to live like Joel Olstein. All right, please subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you all later.